can access them. So object is nothing but an instance of a class. That means you are creating something, some agent, some person who is who is working for the class.
I mean something that represent class.
Represent the class, reference. This is why it's called reference variable. Because in this code, I'm calling it reference variable because this is holding the memory locations of the object that you created. Object is actually created in here. This keyword, this new keyword is creating an object. When you say as soon as you say new and you're writing class with a parenthesis, a new object is created. We call it instance of a class. That means whatever the function is available for a class, it take all the code in the memory locations and make it available for you. Object created. Now the object locations reference, you're putting the reference, some sort of numbers, you're keeping it in here. And this is why it's called reference variable, because it refers to some object. You can create as many objects as you want. Now here see class A, right? Class A is the class name or whatever. I can create same object, using the same class I can create as many objects as I want. Okay? Now if I do something like this is class A, right? If I do something like this, actually it should be class A, maybe A. If I do something class A, object name is AA, new class A, another object, right? But what kind of object is this? Class A type object, right? I can access all the methods from the class A using this object, right? Agree with me?
Yes.
I can create another one. Class A, BB. New class A, another object. Same thing. It can also access any method from class A. But different variable name, different reference variable. This one is creating an object. What kind of object is creating? This one is creating another object. What kind of object creating? I can create class A type, not class B. This class A object, class A object. I can create thousands of like this, right?
You said that on the top, class A equal new class A, right? It's not class.
Class A.
No, on the top.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Class A is the name of the class.
A and then
A is name of the object.
new class A, right?
It should be class A. You're right. Should be class A. Right? So this is one object, this is another object, this is another object, but they all are object of which class?
A.
Class A. That means using this object, this is basically object is created somewhere, someplace. I'm just getting the reference of the object, holding it in here. But you can say, hey, this is the object created, which is fine, which is valid part. You can say, hey, this is one object, this is one object, this is one object. But literally what happening is just holding the memory location of the object. This is why another way you can say this is a reference variable. But if you want to make it simple and easy, say, hey, this is the one object I created. But this will be created when? When you have this piece of code. Because this piece of code actually creating the object and putting the memory locations in here. And then you can use this A to access any method. Now if you have a method called sum, you can say A dot sum. Because using the object you are accessing a method, right? You can also say A dot sum, which also gonna work. Why? Because A is the object too. You can also say B dot sum. This BB can also access the sum. Why? Because BB is the object of class A, right? So anything is there in the class A, object can access. So object is an instance of a variable, example of a variable. Using the one single class, you can create as many objects as you want. Just you have to use this rule, right? Because all these objects are same basically, but still they are distinct. It is like you have one design for a building. You are creating 100 buildings using the same design, but still all those 100 buildings are different. Because you are creating one building in Jackson Heights, one building in Manhattan, one building in Queens, one in Astoria, one in Brooklyn. They all look like same because they use the same design, same blueprint, right? But still what? They are different, they are unique. But the architecture is same. The location of the living room, location of the kitchen, location of the the bedrooms, all those are same. But there are many different places, right? Same thing happening here. Object is created in memory in some location, they are putting in some place. But same thing. Getting my point? This is the object. Now, when you create the object, there is a concept called constructor. What does the constructor do when you see the constructions happen? The people constructor, what they do? MTA constructor, what they do? They build something. They build something. Now, first of all, you can use constructor to build your object. To build your object. Constructor. The constructor can be used to initialize your object. Initialize means when you create something, something will happen automatically. You don't have to do it. The constructor can do it for you. So constructor could be happen to build your object, and constructor can initialize the object. So there are two different kind of constructors. One is without parameter, one is with parameter. Now when I'm saying class A, new class A, then what I'm doing? Then what I'm doing, I'm giving parentheses. This is actually a construct. This syntax constructing an object for you. This is the rule. You can break it. This is how Java works. But this constructor have no parameters. Nothing.
That means constructor is the basically class name.
Class name, yeah. I'll show you how to create a constructor. When you create a constructor, constructor should be the same name as your class name.
Because you're using the blueprint.
Exactly. Now, every time you create a class, you're basically creating a constructor. But you don't know. Because by default, constructor is running. It's called default constructor. So this is a default constructor. You didn't write it down in your code. But who did it? JVM did it, Java did it for you. Behind the scene, when code is running, it's actually creating a constructor to create an object for you. It's running something like this, but inside this there's nothing. Inside is empty. But it's a default constructor. So let's see the default constructor first, right? Let's do one thing. Let's create a class, first class A, or maybe